Welcome to Garden and Vegetable Patch with your own hands. Today we're harvesting sweet potatoes. This year we grew sweet potatoes again, but this time we used an unusual method for the first time. We grew them in bags. Previously, we used to grow them in regular garden beds, covering them with plastic film. That's the traditional way of growing them, which gives very good results and, among other things, yields a pretty decent harvest, especially if you water the sweet potato plants on time during the growing season, and even better if you also fertilize them. So, this year we decided to try a different method, growing them in bags. I've never heard of anyone using this method, but our garden is small, and we just don't have space to dig such big beds. And right here, in this spot where we have a pile of compost, we cover it with leaves. Don't mind that the sweet potato looks kind of rough right now. It's because the frost hit it at night. Look, even from the slightest frost, the leaves wilt. They just can't handle the cold. So that's why it looks bad right now. But when it looked like this, see, there are still some fresh, nice green leaves down below. There was a real green waterfall here, and it covered up this ugly, dirty old slate. So we had a double goal. First, to cover up this not so pretty spot, and second, to harvest a crop. But let's move on and take a closer look at what grew in an ordinary sugar sack. We planted 2 plants, 2 seedlings per sack. First, let's trim them. We trim the vines like this, separating them from each bush. This way, it'll be much easier for us to take apart the sack. Now we'll cut open the sack and see what's grown inside. What kind of harvest we got? That's it. The sack is free. You see, after a season the sack becomes unusable because it was left out in the sun. Of course, we watered from the top here, but you have to keep in mind that in these kinds of sacks, sometimes the water doesn't go into the soil, but seeps down between the walls. That's why I had serious doubts that the soil would be fully soaked as needed. And honestly, I also doubted whether we'd get a harvest at all. Although we've already opened the first sack and did see some harvest. And now let's take a look at what grew in the second sack. We cut it open like this. And let's just do it like this. Grab the stems right away. Like this. Oh wow, friends, I haven't even seen results like this in the garden beds we used to grow in, when there were no restrictions on growth at all. But for something like this to grow in, excuse me, a sack with limited space, that's really something amazing. Look at this, it's like, well, like a stick of sausage or something. Beautiful. And look how many more, how many others there are. Even though they're smaller, they can still be used for food. You can eat them just the same. That's the first thing. By the way, this is the harvest from the first sack, from the very first sack. And this is the harvest from the second sack. Now, let's move on to the second point. There was a second plant here somewhere. And here it is. The second plant produced this beautiful harvest, which, well, I think, growing in sacks, friends, maybe you've tried it before or seen someone do it somewhere. Honestly, I'll tell you, I haven't even seen anyone grow like this on YouTube. So, if you had any doubts, you can now clearly see the result, the kind of harvest that grew in the sack. This is from one sack, one sugar sack, just like that. Minimal effort, maximum yield. That's what I wanted to show in this video. So, if you had doubts, give it a try, place it wherever is convenient for you, and you'll naturally get the same kind of harvest. Thanks for watching. Wishing everyone peaceful skies above. See you next time.